Hey guys, Steinixos here. So today we'll be speaking about the Zushi Zushi no Mi Devil Fruit. Specifically, we'll be talking about what a fully mastered and unrestricted Zushi Zushi no Mi Devil Fruit could look like. Now, as you all probably already know, the Zushi Zushi no Mi is the Gravity Paramecia type Devil Fruit. And thus what this means is that upon consumption of this Devil Fruit, the user becomes a gravity human who is able to create and control gravitational forces. Now, not much really needs to be said to hype up the gravity fruit. After all, gravity is one of the four fundamental forces of the universe, along with electromagnetism and the weak and strong nuclear forces. And Fujitora, the user of the gravity fruit, has demonstrated unquestionable skill with this fruit. I mean, for example, him picking up all of the wreckage from basically all of Dressrosa with pinpoint individual precision so as to not affect the citizens that were scattered about is obviously no easy feat. So what higher level of mastery and unrestricted use could there possibly be for the Zushi Zushi no Mi? Well, that's exactly what we'll be discussing. Now, as seen with Fujitora, one of the most basic attack of any gravity user is them using gravity to launch environmental structures at their opponent. Now, the average gravity user is usually limited to only things that are in their immediate environment, but as Fujitora demonstrates, at an even higher level of mastery, a gravity user is able to affect even celestial bodies like asteroids, bringing them down from outer space. And as the gravity user strength increases, they are able to affect even larger and farther celestial bodies, such as Graviton taking a solar flare from the sun. But of course, when attacking from a range, a skilled gravity user is not restricted to just physical projectiles, but rather they can use gravity itself to attack. And this type of gravity attack typically takes the form of a vertical field of increased gravity, such as Fujitora's gravity blade, or a horizontal flow of a field of gravity, such as seen with Fujitora's raging tiger. And of course, at a high level of mastery, this gravity field flow can be omnidirectional, such as seen with Pain's almighty push. However, though powerful, these methods of full gravity field flow is a bit crude, so at a higher level of mastery, a gravity user like Shiki from Eden Zero may choose to compress the gravity fields into almost tangible concentrated balls of gravity, which they then launch at their opponents. But you see, even with this, things can still get a bit more crazy, because gravity users at an even higher level of mastery are able to compress the gravity to such an extent that they get an area of almost infinite gravity. That is, they make a black hole. And these miniature black holes, as seen with Dante's Gratis from Black Clover, can be launched at their opponent, evaporating everything they come in contact with due to the almost infinite pull of their gravity. And at higher levels of mastery, the gravity user doesn't even need to launch these black holes to their opponent, but rather, as demonstrated by Ainz Al Ghul from Overlord, they can just make this singularity appear at their opponent's position in space, thus crushing the opponent into oblivion without the opponent even having a chance to avoid it. However, as impressive as those applications are, a fully mastered and unrestricted use of the gravity fruit must explore the full continuum from physical to conceptual. So as we go deeper along this path, we see where a truly skilled gravity user is able to affect even fundamental physical things. So for example, Graviton from Marvel is able to use gravity to remove the air itself from around the Human Torch, causing his fires to be extinguished, and him being unable to breathe due to a lack of oxygen. And by the way, such a usage of the gravity fruit is completely within the scope of One Piece, given that Scissor Clown, the user of the gas fruit, has demonstrated this exact same feat. And again, we see where a skilled gravity user like Raifu Wanigawa from a certain scientific railgun can use gravity to bend even light, which allows them to create illusions for their opponents, causing their opponents to miss their attacks. And I mean, the physical basis of this should be intuitive to you, because as even Blackbeard reminds us with his Yami Yami no Mi attack black hole, at strong areas of gravity, even light is affected. And as demonstrated penetrated by graviton, anything, as long as they have some mass, even an intangible opponent like Moonstone, can still be affected by gravity. Furthermore, when we go closer to the end of this spectrum, we see where master level gravity users are able to make their gravity affect even concepts themselves. We see this, for example, with Xenolith from Eden Zero, who uses his gravity power to make Shiki's pain lighter, causing Shiki to feel it less. And note, this particular conceptual usage of gravity is completely within the scope of One Piece, given that the Papa fruit, which is used by Kuma, has literally been shown to remove this same concept of pain as well as suffering from Luffy. So make no mistake, conceptual usage of the gravity fruit would be supported by even the manga itself. Furthermore, there is yet again another prominent example of the conceptual usage of gravity. You see, Demon Lord Ziggy, through his gravity drain attack, is able to use gravity to steal his opponent's powers by causing the powers to conceptually fall into him. And as many of you would know, one of the main antagonists in One Piece is Blackbeard, a character who is able to steal Devil Fruit powers from others. Now, the reason Blackbeard can hold an extra Devil Fruit power within himself is unknown, but likely related to his special body structure referenced by Marco. However, the reason he can steal Devil Fruit powers from others is likely related to his Yami Yami no Mi, which he specifically sought out, likely in part due to this reason. And as Blackbeard explained to us, a major component of his darkness fruit is the infinite gravity of darkness that not even light itself can escape. So as Xenolith said, gravity does indeed transcend concepts. And if unrestricted and fully mastered, the gravity fruit, even within the One Piece series itself, would seemingly just be doing what it is meant to do. But hold on, do you remember one of the major facts that we mentioned at the start of this video? That's right, gravity is one of the 4 fundamental forces of the universe, and thus as such, gravity fields basically permeate all of space as we know it. So as you could probably guess, at high levels of mastery, a skilled gravity user like Graviton is able to sense the position of anyone around him through changes in these gravity fields. This gravity detection can get to such a level of precision that a high-level gravity user like Graviton is able to tell where a person is anywhere on the planet. Even the perception of the Earth spinning is available at this level of mastery. And this allows the gravity user to do things like, while being in Los Angeles, Graviton can send a pebble from China to Australia into the head of a specific person. Now again note, the gravity field allowing its user to sense the fundamental fields of gravity is completely within the scope of the One Piece story. Given that we know that Enel, the user of the lightning fruit, is able to augment his observation haki range and actually hear what people are saying within his range by picking up electric or electromagnetic waves that naturally permeate the air. As a matter of fact, other than Enel, who is confirmed, Fujitora is the only other character in One Piece for whom there is a high likelihood that they are already augmenting their observation haki with their Devil Fruit. Because as an admiral, we know that Fujitora's observation haki would obviously be far above that of the Skypian priest, who could already cover an entire island. And we also know that Fujitora blinded himself and now sees the world entirely using his observation haki. Thus he is constantly reliant on his observation haki to replace his sense of sight. And this alone likely already made his observation haki far greater than that of his fellow admirals. But if these were the only things that we were considering, I probably would have said that his observation haki could extend at most to about a continent or two, and I definitely would not have said that it could extend to outer space. But here's the thing, we know that he can and does extend it to outer space. This is because at any given moment, he can precisely summon a meteor from outer space. Now, even though it hasn't explicitly been confirmed, it is likely that the reason he can summon these meteors with such precision is because, like Enel, he is combining his observation haki with his gravity powers to pick up the gravitational waves which permeate space, and thus he can decide how much gravity to send up to attract a meteor of a specific size and position from outer space at any given moment. It also explains why he could precisely target and pick up all of the inanimate rocky debris that were left scattered and just lying around after Dressrosa was mostly destroyed. And this to me makes way more sense than saying things like he fires up a random amount of gravity in a random direction and just hopes that it comes in contact with a meteor of appropriate size that amount of gravity can attract. Or saying that he creates meteors himself and that he keeps a constant supply of these meteors above the clouds, carries them around with him, and then summons one whenever he needs it. Now I would hope that I don't need to explore these arguments for you to see why they don't really make much sense. But anyway, I could say much more about a fully mastered and unrestricted gravity devil fruit, like using gravity to improve your physical abilities, or wormhole portal creations, or assigning gravity to external structures in a way similar to how the magnetic fruit awakening allows the user to assign magnetic polarities to external structures. But by now, I think you should have gotten a pretty good idea of what this could be like, so we'll end it there. But anyway, that's the video guys. You can let me know what you thought about it in the comment section down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked the video. But anyway, see you guys next time.